got people give like already. Thank you, thank you. Yes. Hello, everybody. Good evening, everyone. How's everybody tonight? And anybody overseas traveling? Okay. So I thought it's important for me to quickly update everybody. Sorry, I took a bit of time, got something engagement. Oh, okay. YPF7717. Okay. Good evening to you. Okay. Yep. Why you so late? Haven't sleep? I'm living in Europe time zone, so very difficult to sleep in such early hours. Desmond, good evening. Oh, okay. I'll make it short. Okay. Yeah. I'll make it short so that hello, Kimi, QI, good to see you. Okay. Yes. Thanks for those people already like. Okay. Kenny, good to see you. Okay. YSY, good to see you. Is this live now? Yes, 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 it's live now. Okay. PL Lee, yes. Singren, good to see you. Yes. Okay. Cynthia, good to see you. Amy, good to see you. Yes. I don't think I'll do more than half an hour today. The topic should be so I don't need to have like a code zone. I don't depend on this thing for a of 5 or 3 or 4 4 videos a day. Hi, simply Charlie, good to see you. Yes. When something happened, I would like to come live to tell everybody the impact as fast as possible so that you don't overreact or don't underreact or whatever. But when there's nothing, I have nothing to say. Just talk talk session. Okay. Yes. Which I'm quite good in talk, but I hardly do it. Yes. Chiu Sim, good to see you. Yes. Hey, everybody must. Okay. Yes. Imagine getting locked down in the Hai Di Lao in China and having unlimited steamboat. Close to 12. Okay. Mary, good to see you. 12 in Singapore. Yes. All right. Cool. Have you all seen the news about China reopening? I think most of us do. Okay, I think today I have enough data points to make a judgment of what I should do. Okay, so I thought I've got two or three very important data points which I thought is important for me highlight to everybody. Okay, so maybe everybody give a like. There's less than 1/3 of you have given a like, so that will help a lot. Okay, to help promote the video. The title of my talk today is quite interesting. It's called China Reopening. Okay, an imminent Grey Rhino event. It's a Grey Rhino event. What on earth is a Grey Rhino event? I'll talk about it later. It's technically not a black swan event. Generally, a black swan event is an event where you don't expect it to happen. This one, it's coming. Okay, it's coming, and in some sense, the coming of it has threat and opportunity. So it falls under what we call a grey rhino. Okay, and I'll talk about it. Anybody who knows about this grey rhino and black swan event are happy to have a discussion. But first and foremost, the usual disclaimer: this is not for guiding you to buy or sell stocks. It's more for education, entertainment. Okay. Interestingly, China has announced that they're going to reopen all the borders, drop COVID quarantine from the 8th of January. Okay, 8th of January. That incidentally is my wife's birthday. Yeah. Okay. And I was looking in China news. I trust South China Morning Post a lot more than local news. And incidentally, my very, very, very good friend William Zheng, this is the author William Zheng. Okay, happened to write the news from South China Morning Post. William Zheng is his name is Zheng Wei. He's one of the top person in the company in terms of this kind of news, and I had the privilege of studying with him for 4 years. We're like buddies in university together. He has got a first. He's a he's formerly from China Economic School. Oops. Is the connection better right now? Can someone please tell me where the connection is okay? Okay, so just now the connection just died a bit. Okay, please tell me now whether the connection is okay. Mm, is it okay right now? I hope it's okay right now. Someone please tell me, is it okay, not okay? Lagging, the sound, all connection is good now. Okay, good. Okay, so sorry. Yeah, okay, so the connection is good. Okay, I think connection should hold right now. It's better, right? Better. Okay. All right, cool. Let's go on, shall we? So William Zheng, his name is Zheng Wei. Was my university super buddy. Okay, we studied together in NUS together. Both of us got first class honors. His first class honors is a higher quality than mine. 我的是骗来的，他的是真材实料。Okay, real solid first class honors, and he has a natural disadvantage because in economic school you got to write a lot of essay. But interestingly, but despite that, he actually got a first class honors in economics school in NUS. Did very well. Later went to SPH. Was one of the key person in SPH. Then after that went over South China Morning Post. So we had a great time together in NUS and later life, and so when his wedding I was his MC, and in my wedding he was my MC. So you can see we are quite intertwined together. So I trust his judgment a lot. Okay, in China. So today I read his news and I wrote an email to him and asked him about his views of this whole thing. So I got one huge data point from there. By the way, I want to make sure that is the internet okay right now? I'm not so sure. Can you all hear me? Can you at least sound off? Yes, I can hear you. Everything's okay. Or it's not okay, then I'll find a better location or better sound and things like that. Can you please tell me whether everything is okay? Okay. Is everything okay? All right, cool. Okay. So, all right, let's go back. Okay. So China now has reopened. All right, thank you everybody. China now has reopened and they have dropped COVID quarantine from 8th of January. Interestingly, if you actually seen the entire news, it's not just they say open. The opening is quite serious. They're no longer just all open, but their borders will be open. You come in, you do a PCR test, and they gradually will allow exits as well. So this is really the last step of the country's pivot to living with the virus, and this one is actually quite a serious thing. So now the rules is that from 8th of January onwards, you're only required to have a negative COVID test to arrive. Okay, no more quarantine. Actually, although I quite asked, what happens if you come in and being tested? Do you have to be quarantined in a hotel or quarantined in a hospital or quarantined at different places? So that part I don't know. Okay, but most importantly is that people arriving in China no longer be quarantined, so no more 不用隔离了. So they will be required to obtain negative COVID test within 48 hours of departure. Okay, and this is against the rules of today. Now you require 5 days of isolation in a hotel or so, and followed by 3 days of quarantine at home. So total 8 days. So that totally remove the whole thing. And this is something that we have all the while known is coming, and we always say that if it comes, don't really know what the impact is, right? So today I'll make an assessment of what I think impact is after taking views from 2 experts. Okay, this is not a black swan event. Okay, what is a black swan event? Okay, I'll talk about black swan event and Rhino. A black swan event is usually an unpredictable event beyond what is expected and has severe consequences. COVID is a black swan event. To some extent, our inflation, okay, is also a black swan event. We didn't expect it to be that high and things like that. And then the crash in the stock market is a black swan event. If it's not a black swan event, then the crash wouldn't happen. Okay, it's very rare, extremely rare. Our rise in inflation, our stagflation, only happened 40 years ago. So it's very rare. COVID is very rare. The last time was in the last one was in SARS, and the previous one was in the First World War. Okay, so So very severe impact and things like that. But this is what we call more a grey rhino. And by the way, can you all, okay, a grey rhino is something that we can see and acknowledge, but yet do nothing about the things that are hard to ignore. And have you ever seen things like that? You know, basically it's a grey rhino because it charged towards you and you just freeze there and wait for the rhino to hit you. How many of you are in such a situation? And to some extent, this many times in our life, grey rhino does hit us. Okay, and I don't want this kind of time, this China reopening to be a grey rhino that hit us. So the problem is that a grey rhino is characterized by it's coming, and you know it's coming. You have some time to react, but yet it happens a bit at a time, and finally hit you, you just concuss. The Jews in the Holocaust are like that, you know, Jews, because they know that the Nazis are going to take very drastic action on them, and yet millions of Jews across Europe just stay there and do nothing and wait for the Nazi to come. It's because the Nazis are very smart. They do a bit at a time, they come closer and closer. First, they take a bit of privileges away and make you wear armband, and slowly make you go in the ghettos, and slowly, you know, do a bit of time there, and eventually, you know what, they all sent into the chambers, right? Grey rhino are of this event. So China, I would consider it closer to a grey rhino event. Okay, yeah. So okay, I want to show you something. Hello, everybody. Yes, just it happened to walk past me, so I thought I want to say hello. Okay, can you, for sake of this boy, give him a like? Okay. It's yes, this yes, it's my pet. This is a short leg munchkin. Okay, the legs are actually, his legs actually quite short. Can you see? Yes. Okay. So this is name is called Chong Chong. I like to call him Rascal, but hey, hello. Yes. Okay. So alright. So I thought he passed by. If you hear his voice, please bear with him. Okay. Yes. Thank you, guys. Give me a like, please. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Alright, boy. Go ahead. Yeah. So it's a bit obese, huh? So China reopening is what we call a grey rhino. I call a grey rhino. We know it's coming, and yet it's easy to ignore the risk. Okay, easy to ignore the risk. Yes, thank you for it's very cute. This guy is very cute. So let's talk about a few things that will happen. Okay, now I'm in Singapore already. Yes. So as now today, Associate Professor Su Liyang, this gentleman is called Su Liyang. He's a infectious disease expert. Okay, he came on Channel News Asia and talked about it. Su Liyang in army and I were buddies. Okay, in OCS. Yeah. So first, so I know him. He's a very, very smart guy. One of the top chess players in our time. Okay, very, very smart guy. I met up with him again in my reservists and things like that. So today he actually came. You can Google for his video. He talked about this reopening. Very important. Okay. Yeah. And Professor Su Liyang actually said that say a few things. Okay. Number one, he says that no, there's no need to travel right now. Okay, don't be in a rush. Don't be gung ho to go and travel to China. So I thought it was quite important. Okay, but more important is the China wave right now. When is the peak? Is it, when is the peak? Because the peak will determine when all the noise goes away. The peak, according to him, most likely is going to be in mid of January. So from now to mid of January, there will be a hell of noise. There'll be a hell of noise. A lot of people is gonna. He didn't say that. I'm gonna say that. There'll be a lot of people dying. A lot of people, in very severe circumstances and things like that. Very noisy. That kind of environment and things like that. A lot of hospital probably will be overrun. Blah blah blah. Right. Everson, thank you. So, but however, the peak will be somewhere around mid-January, and that's in line with what other countries have experienced. Okay, and I think that's important. And then after that, it will slowly taper down or sharply taper down. I don't know, but this 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 period will be what he thinks is the peak. Okay, which I think is important. But basically, January, by end of January, most likely the whole crisis will be over. Another infectious doctor, another doctor said that the R value is now 20. Okay, which means every one person get infected, they will infect 20 people. It's very, very high. Okay, Delta was 5, I think, and it caused so many deaths in India. Okay, and you have got Omicron is maybe in the tune of 8 or 10. No? Now this time it's 20. So very, very serious, right? Very serious. Okay, but most of the people are very mild, right? Most of the people are very mild. So I think we should take a chapter from Professor Suli Yang, who actually said that that people should refrain from traveling unless necessary, because I also think that right now there are new variants and all this. You don't need to go in gung ho and travel. It's unless it's business and you really want to go for it and take a risk. Now is a time where infection is 100%. It's like almost everybody will kena. So you want to go and choke there right now, a bit on the high risk side. So we probably don't need to, unless you are in need of business. I'm still thinking whether to be gung ho and go there and look for some business stuff. But anyway, but actually, all said and done, really the big question to us is stock market how, right? Right. So what about the stock market? What about the stock market, right? So is the stock market going to go up or go down, right? Am I correct? Okay. So on here, from you guys. So China reopening, stock market go up or down? Please key in. Up. If you can write up, why and down, why? Okay. What do you think the market will go up or down? Or up first then down, or down first then up? Okay. Go sideways, BBQ liao, down. Okay, I want to hear some more. You think you'll go up or down? I want to hear some down, high demand. Down, cost inflation higher, down. Okay, down. Sideways, okay. Up then down, cost inflation down. I think 80% of people up, China, okay, up, down, okay, down. Okay, so I crash and burn, okay, down. I think 80% of people thinks that it will go down, because I think we all have been educated that China can cause inflation and things like that. Let's hear from first Jerome Powell. Okay, Jerome Powell says he's unsure how China reopening will affect inflation. Okay, because I've said about this many times. Number one is, with China reopening, the supply chain will all be unlocked and supply will go up. But with China reopening, the demand will go up and causing buying power to increase and causing the prices and potentially go up. Then as a result, inflation will go up. So there is two conflicting impact. So Jerome Powell himself is unsure. Okay, he's unsure. So I asked my good friend William Chen, who is a China expert, obviously. He actually thinks following, and I also get a few data points from other places. I'm going to summarize it, okay? He thinks that the impact of China reopening at this juncture is too early to tell, like Jerome Powell. But for sure, global supply chain will be better in the mid and long run. But there could possibly use the word infraction. High infection and disruption from all the deaths. So I think in the short run, I think in a matter of, and if it triangulate his thinking and Professor Suli Yang's thinking, in the short run, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, supply disruption can happen also. So there will be, in some sense, a lot of noise from that 2-3 weeks, and we got to this thing will happen. But beyond that peak is over, when the peak is over, then the supply chain will be smoother, better, and all this. So I think, in some sense, in the short run, we should think that there is some disruption. Okay, some disruption. I talked to him about this demand. He actually says that China demand is unlikely to lift up global inflation, and I think about it is probably true. His exact words is China is not a price taker. Don't forget, he's also an economist by training. Okay, he's an economist by training. He sees more about economic things than I do. He said China is not a price setter; it's a price taker. Okay, in most cases. Now, what China have impact on in prices, in now I think about it, it's actually only a few things only. Number one, raw material, oil, maybe coal and iron and things like that, right? So they only have high demand on these few stuff. The other second thing is actually my trade, my wife's trade, luxury. China demand for luxury is insatiable. Luxury goods luxury goods. China demand for luxury goods is phenomenal. Okay, phenomenal. So there'll be some impact around there. Okay, and I hope that in the computation of CPI, none of it got Chanel bags and LV bags and Prada bags. Okay, SQ air ticket to China now is 4,100. Wow. Okay. And of course, the third one is travel. Exactly, I say, travel is going to go up. Okay, travel is going to go up in a big way, right? Travel prices, hotels, and all these are China sensitive sectors. So sectorially, we'll see some inflation. Okay, sectorially we'll see some inflation, but in most of the goods and services, China is not a price setter; it's a price taker. Okay, it's a price taker. And the last point I thought is important is that Singapore will most likely be a huge beneficiary of China reopening. Okay, huge beneficiary of China reopening for two reasons. So Professor Su Liang talked about that in the news article. Okay, Professor Su Liang actually said that there is a lot of tourists right now because in China you cannot get mRNA vaccine. So there's a lot of vaccine tourists right now. Okay, they just run out to get your mRNA jab. So the first wave of opening up, okay, you will see a huge group of people running out to get their jabs. That's quite funny, right? Okay, to get their mRNA jab. And of course, when they go out, they're not going to just go to their jab. They'll go to Marina Bay Sands, they'll go to Sentosa, they'll go to every place and just buy up the whole world. The hotels will be all booked up and so on. So so Singapore will most likely be a huge beneficiary of China tourists. Okay, so and our GDP has a few percent point impact probably on tourism. So I think of course they have to pay for this injection. I'm sure when they come here, and our medical sector will be stupid not to juice them dry. Yeah, charge them a few $100 per jab. I would just say we invite them to come and jab. After that, one cup of tea. Sit here wait for 30 minutes. This cup of tea, Milo, whatever, each cost $10. Yes, I will do that. Put a nice aircon, a nice sofa, another $10, right? That kind of thing, right? So yeah, they will pay. After that, I'll cater one Uber, high class limousine to send you back to your hotel. You rest for one day. No strenuous activity. Prepare a spa for you. I tell you, I'm a businessman. I can really think of all this kind of thing. They will pay. If you don't know how rich the Chinese is, you must go to Europe. Yeah, they are freaking rich, man. They will make us Singaporean look like nothing. Yeah, I was in Europe. I just came back. I saw the Singaporeans buy things. Cannot fight with the Chinese. Yeah, because we're too courteous. Excuse me, how much is this? Think about it. Well, do you have this? Do you have that? The Chinese where got like that? 这个我全要 No check, nothing. Singaporean take the bag slowly. Ayo, got this little spot here or something. The Chinese don't freaking care. This one. I want. Pack 5 for me each. That's how they do it, right? Yeah, right. We cannot fight with them. Yeah, I tell you, they're gonna freaking lift up the luxury sector. I hope my Tolong, my sector is gonna be hit. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so where was I? So all we know now is a grey rhino is now coming. Oh, talk about China sales assistant. In each Europe luxury store, there's at least one Chinese staff. If not, half of them are all Chinese staff, and they never let them go during this COVID. In Korea, if you go to Myeongdong Shinsegae, the duty free, the whole floor levels 8, 9, 10 or something like that. They're all Chinese staff that can speak Korean. Or 90% are Chinese, all waiting for this day to come for 3 years already. They never let them go. You know how big the Chinese demand is. Huge, freaking huge. So anyway, so let's talk about the course of action, okay? So what should we do, right? So these are a few data points. So Mr. Lu, what should we do? So I think what we should do, is like this, like a red rhino real charge, but we don't know whether it's gonna charge at us or charge on the side. So this time around, we're ready. I would take the approach that I'm adopt a close watch and see, very very closely watch and see. The minute it charge, I know it charges me, I run, okay. But basically ready to react because I'm basically preparing for more volatility, okay. I don't think we need to overreact or panic because we know that in the mid to long run, this whole thing is good for us, right? Mid to long run, this whole thing is good for us. The demand is sectorially impacted, not overall impacted. Yes, there could be some inflation impact, so we need to expect that inflation may have now some spikes and things like that. But then it will cause some volatility. Some of you all think, wow, Mr. Lu, I thought you said stock market is going to go up. This is a grey rhino. But when it goes down, volatility means like that, right? When it goes down, my take is below 3,800 points or below, I will start again. This time around, I'll arm myself. Cannot get my T-bills. I'll take the money and whack here already as sian. Yeah. So if it crash further, I'll buy, crash further, I'll buy, crash further, I'll buy, crash further, I'll buy. And largely because I have the confidence that in the long run, the supply chain recovery is coming and it's going to be, hello Foktian, it's going to be very, very big recovery. Our iPhones will now be there, whatsoever, our a lot of the China products that are now Gen will now be coming up. I will probably want to go to China. I haven't visited China for a long time, but only do it after, Professor Su Liang said mid of Jan, right? Don't be so gung-ho, end of Jan or mid of February. There's no rush to go there, right? Okay? There's no rush to go there. All the food you want to eat in China, hello Jennifer, good to see you. All the food you want to go there, you can eat it in Singapore, most of the case. Okay, may not be as good, but we can afford to go there, wait for a little while. So I will wait until the wave is over somewhere at end of January or beginning of February, okay? But this time around, the volatility is most likely going to be fierce. And then I will take the chance to go in and say, okay? So I would basically say that, it is hard to say whether for sure it's going up or down, but I do know the volatility I'm prepared for more volatility, okay? This grey rhino is charging, is very difficult to tell the direction. Jerome Powell cannot tell, but if I triangulate, Professor Su Liang said, and the South China Morning Post, my good friend William Chen said, and a few other data points, I believe in what they say, okay? That there is that China is a price taker. It will be sectorially impacted, and the wave will die off will start to die off after mid of Jan, and therefore a mid to long term recovery of supply chain is a lot. So the disruption now will be the next 2 to 3 weeks. We will see that happening in a big way, and that will cause more turbulence and so on. So I think if you once you know that all these things is coming, then you know then that's not so frightening. Huh? Yeah. So that's my assessment, taking data points from all these places. So any comments from all this? Okay. So yes, PLD says is now preparing your dry powder and prepare to shoot. That's what I'll do. Yes. Yeah, that's what I'll do. My Chinese friend say Chinese all come to migrate to Singapore and US. Yes, but I think they probably only the rich can do that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, rich can do that. I think the Singapore property prices will have an impact upwards this time. The Chinese are all coming out. Yeah. Okay. What I think will happen? Oh, I didn't talk about that in my notes. But I think there'll be yeah. So for now, to meet Jen is just to wait. I would say watch and ready to react. If the market crash, given that in the mid to long term it's going to be good, I will go in, man. Yeah, I cannot tell you what you should do. I will go in. Okay, I will be armed and ready to go in. Okay, armed and ready to go in for sure. Yeah, for sure, armed and ready to go in. I suspect the market will start to react. Okay, to this news. Crash below 3,000 points. We are now already at borderline 3,000 points. Like 要下不要下不下. I won't be surprised at 3,000 points there'll be some days where you go below that. Yeah, go in the US market, go in China market. I have no faith in the Chinese market because I am in for the long term. Okay, so I like hold it. This is good news. Why don't the S&P react strongly on this? How do you know it's good news? 80% of people don't say it's good news. Yeah, everybody can say it's not necessarily good news. Okay, 80% of people here say it's bad news. Yeah. Okay, I agree with them to some extent. Yeah. Okay, so it's highly inflationary. No, I cannot tell whether you go down to 3,500 points or below, but I would say that going below 3,000 points is a very high likely. Why with interest rate rising, S rate is rising? No, the S rate is rising because they expect the inflation to go down. Therefore, I expect the inflation go down. Therefore, I expect interest rate to go down over time. What's your view on gold prices? I don't like gold price. Gold is a commodity of. It's a commodity of. It's a asset for protection against inflation and currency of safety. Is it a good time next year to sell condo in suburb? The one I can't say. I can ask Dragon Tan and maybe Chin Heng and some of these experts come in. Fixed deposit will hit 5% next year. Good chance, yes. A few more. I will imagine the interest rate will go up a few more points. Yes. Now it's already at 4, right? 4.5, 5. I think is very possible. Yes. How about property crisis in China? Any impact on economy? I think after this, their economy is going to skyrocket, for sure. Skyrocket. Yeah. If China tourists come to Singapore to shop, can buy SC retail REIT. Again, right? You are all trying to pun. Oh, this thing go down, the thing will have one big jump or whatever. But I like to hold on the strategy that I go up. But that said, S-REIT, the biggest reason why it will go up is they expect inflation to go down. Okay, they expect inflation to go down. Why only OCBC offer FD using OA? It's a business decision. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Any impact on US dollar? Yes, if they go out, they will. If the whole Chinese tourists all go out, they will have to buy foreign currency, and the Chinese US dollar will be one of them. If interest rate hit above 5%, should we put extra cash or supposed to go in the T-bills? Then the T-bills will also go up. Yeah, but T-bill damn difficult to get. It's like a 4D at that. Any impact job market? I think there's a lot of sectors that will go up. I think a lot of sectors will improve. Hotels will improve, airlines will improve, all this. Chinese tourists have a big impact in Singapore tourism sector. Huge impact. My guess is they account for at least half of them. Yeah. Uh, if you can buy the zoo, you buy the bird park, and buy all these kind of places, you should go. I would consider that, yes. Will Japan yen weaken? No, they also go to Japan. Hard to say. Chinese reopening has a huge positive impact on economy, and potentially a negative impact on sectorally on inflation. So that's why it's two impact. Very hard to tell which one is better. Yeah, Chinese all chiong Japanese and Korean. Will property prices in Singapore go up? There's two impact. Interest rate cost it come down. All these demand costs go up. Hard to say. Which is the sector that went down first will go up first? That one really hard to say. Would I ever run for election? You would think I am so good. I'm very not qualified. I saw some analysts like Mike Wilson predicting S&P 500 will crash to 3,000 points. What's your view? I don't know where it come. I got see people say you go up to 4,500 points. I see people say you crash to 3,000 points. It's very difficult to tell. Yes. Yeah. I don't think so, but it's it's yeah, hard to say. Okay. T-bill sure get just non-competitive bid. Yeah, but I must get at some decent return. Yeah. Okay. So again, less than half of you have given a like. I will really appreciate. At least what I do is number one, click subscribe and follow, and number two is when you log off. I'm sorry, I start too late. Please give a like. Okay. You should make a podcast and put in Spotify. I don't even know how to do that. It's a side hustle. Okay. Will China open up affect recession? Oh, you make the recession chance lower. Yeah, for sure. Have you watched the recent Tom Lee outlook? Yes, I've done that. Yes, his outlook is always damn freaking bullish. What's your view on India market? I don't know. Yeah, not sure. Okay. What would be the cutoff price of using OA? A lot of people, because of OA gives 2.5%, so they're willing to accept anything above 2.5%. Yeah. Think Japan will increase interest rate, of course. Watch Warren Buffett interview recently. I don't think any that recent interviews like last 1 week. If not, I will have catch it. If maybe I missed it, you can send to me. Can you elaborate why Chinese opening will lower recession chance? Recession which country? Chinese demand, how big or not? Yeah, I think it's number one Singapore export destination. Yeah, very very big. I don't think there will be the whole Singapore economy is going to be lifted up by China. And US also exports a lot into China. So yeah, my only fear of that is inflation. Yeah, fear of that is inflation. Earnings will. Yeah, that's right. I only hope that the supply will increase tremendously. Yes. Okay. China is in recession? No, I don't think so. I don't think China is in recession. They slowed down. I don't think it's inflation. Do you think we should save up more than 1 year expenses or 6 months? I always do at least 9 months to a year. Just to be safe. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. All right. Will Chinese rush in to buy properties in Singapore? Good chance. Good chance. Yeah, I think it will be good chance. Yeah. Will the Fed increase interest rate by 75% point unless we see a rise in interest rate? If not, I don't think so. Seems like Panadol will out of stock. Yes. For the next few weeks, yes. Chinese yen strengthen? No, I don't think so. Seems like CPF can't catch up by interest rate. Okay, wait, there's a statement. Alright, cool. Alright, good. Okay, thank you. It's getting late, so I won't hold you back. I hope that this is, at least give you a data point. A few data points from some experts that are coming in, which I thought I thought it's quite important. And they are, and we shall watch this grey rhino very, very closely. Okay, for me, just to watch it very closely and take advantage of it when it comes. Okay. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Good night. Okay. Good night. All right. Good night. Good night, Shirley, Chu Sim, and Henry, good to see you. John, okay, good night to you too. Fusha, good night to you too. Okay. Yeah, Chia Tiong, good night to you. Okay. Yes, good night to everybody. Yes, good night to you. Justine, good night to you. Okay, QY, good night to you. Rowan, good night to you too. George and Jude, good night. Bong, Cynthia, good night. My cat next to me, she's lying down there. I'll get him to say good night to you, okay? Hey boy, come here. Alright, okay, say goodbye to everybody, okay? Alright, say goodbye to everybody. Okay, bye bye. Okay, alright. Okay. Alright, cool. Can't see. Yeah, it's very rude. Okay. 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 Say good night. Alright. Okay. Okay, good night. Good night everybody. Okay. Say good night. Good night. Good night. He was actually sleeping when I dragged him up. Good night. So this is a short leg. Short leg is a munchkin. The legs are very short. Okay. Okay, good night everybody. Okay, good night. Actually, I have another cat. Where is it? Yeah. Okay. Good night. Okay, good night, everybody. Thank you. It's a very cute cat. Yeah. Good night. Okay, good night. Okay, good night, everybody.